There's an amazing story coming out of California today where they've run the numbers and they have the price tag for California universal health care.
It's not bad.
Single payer health care. It's only
$400 billion.
$400 billion.
That's all.
So just about
$400 billion.
$400 billion, just about half $1 trillion. Now, they're saying that this will require a small increase of taxes in California.
They'll only have to double.
But that's it.
They
only have to double the taxes in California.
Don't worry about
Which
that.
Who in California doesn't already think,
I need to pay more?
I'm not paying my fair share.
Right. Almost everybody thinks that.
Everybody.
44 million people in California. And 43,987,000.
Yeah, it's those three rich bastards that are like, I think I'm paying too much right now.
If they double the taxes in California, how many of the 44 million are left? I mean, I would move in a second. I don't care what I like about California. They're doubling the taxes of already the highest tax state.
Oh my gosh, you would destroy business. Everything would be gone. You would shutter the state. So here, listen to what they're planning. Now, this is their stated intention to do to the insurance companies.
The idea is to overhaul the California insurance marketplace, reduce overall healthcare costs, and expand coverage to everyone, including illegal aliens. The way in which they're going to do this is to they'll take away first of all, the double the taxes on people. But they're also going to eliminate healthcare company profits.
Good.
So they'll be able to just work for free for everybody.
They make way
just continue to insure.
too much money.
Which is what a communist state does. Communists remove all the profit and take the companies over by the state. They take the companies over and they say this belongs to the people. And so now the state is going to run it, and there's not going to be profits because we're all sharing in it.
So who's going to offer coverage? If you're not making any money, what are you doing it for?
The state.
The state will.
Right? The state does.
The state will. And
golly.
Think about how much.
That'll be terrible. Look at Great Britain.
Think how much money you'll save.
Yeah.
Seriously, think how much money you'll save. Now you have to double your taxes, but after that, you're not paying for insurance. You're just doubling your taxes.
And think of all the times
but the insurance is free.
You want to go see the doc and you don't because it's so expensive. Now you can just go.
Well, now, and we should point out, your insurance might be free. Your health care, on the other hand, there's no necessarily any reason to believe that's going to be free because you probably can't get into the doctors. So you're going to have to wind up paying for separate health care anyway, or going to another state where your insurance is no longer accepted.
I encourage California to do this. And if they can make it work, and it really does all the great things, that's great. However, if it doesn't, don't come crying to us.
Well, the problem is they're going to.
Yeah,
I will be bailing them out.
Yes.
Yeah. Which sucks to be them, doesn't it? I think we need to pass a law, sucks to be you law, which you can do whatever you want in your state, but if it doesn't work, sucks to be you.
Oh, this is typical, what you would say. A typical hate-mongering conservative would say.
Right.
What you're doing...
No, what I would say is, don't do this idea. It never works. It cannot work. It makes no financial sense at all. Everyone will move out of your state if you double the taxes. Just that alone. Plus, the government is not going to be efficient at health care.
You listening to this, Pat? Are you listening to what he's saying over here? It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, what's the alternative? The draconian Trump budget? Have you seen this that they've released? This is incredible. I mean, so right now, Medicaid, we're spending $400 billion a year on it. And we're supposed to be, if we were sane, spending $700 billion a year. And Trump wants to cut that. He wants to cut Medicaid. These are poor people with their health care. He wants to dramatically cut by $627 billion the Medicaid budget. And, you might say, wait a minute, you said they're only spending $400 billion a year. Yeah, but he wants to cut it by $627 billion.
A year?
Well, no, over 10 years, but still. Now, when I say cutting, you might say, okay, so it's $400 billion now. That's $60 billion a year. So that would be cutting it to $340 billion a year, right? You might think that. You're dumb for thinking that. Why? Because Trump only wants to increase the budget from $400 billion to $530 billion. So all he wants to do is increase it by $130 billion? That's it per year? And that's being presented as a cut.
Oh, no, I've seen all the stories and how they are all draconian, how this is going to kill everybody, how this is the biggest cut of all time.
Thousands and thousands will die.
Thousands will die.
Just like before. They were piled up in the streets before Obamacare. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you remember? Can I tell you something?
Trying to get to the hospital.
Can I tell you something? I have not gotten the smell of burning bodies out of the hankies we used to have to wrap around our face as we would drag the bodies out that had been kicked out from the hospital. And then just throw them on a pile and burn them in the public square. Oh, my God.
You always knew you were getting close to a hospital.
You could smell the rotting bodies and the burning bodies.
And then you'd see the piles off in the distance.
Yeah.
And so
you'd be like, wow. You know,
more dead
but the
people.
good news is when you had insurance, you could walk right into a hospital and get care that fast. You didn't have to wait around for people who didn't have insurance. You know, you didn't have to wait around because people were using the hospital as a GP. You know, you didn't have to wait around because the hospitals never served those people.
No more than 8 or 9 hours. You know?
Right, but that's because it was great health care.
And it's because we didn't consider health care a fundamental human right. And that's what California is going to do.
Good.
It's a fundamental human right, just like clean water.
You're going to keep hearing this thing about all these cuts.
Hang on just a second. How do you define clean water?
Water that isn't dirty.
Okay. All right.
Back up to you, LD.
All right. Okay. Well, I mean, you really never, God never gave you that right because there would be like a dead moose up around the bend that was rotting in the water. And so a lot of people would get sick and die.
It's called a smoothie, is what you're drinking at that point. That's a smoothie.
Okay, I don't think it's a moosey. A smoothie is a moosey. Yeah. So I don't think that's what that was called. So God didn't even give us the right to clean water.
No, it's...
now, if I'm paying for that water, let's say I'm up someplace north, someplace Michigan, let's throw a dart on the board, Flint, and I'm paying for that water, then I think I do have a right to expect that water to be clean.
You have a right to get it clean. I don't know if you have a right to expect it clean when the government's involved. But you have the right to get it. You should be getting it.
How is it that people think that government is the solution when so many of our they can't do anything right? When so many of our problems are caused by the government. I mean, you could even say, look, what's the government do right? Military? Yeah, the military they do right, but the wars they're not doing right. The part when the Washington is actually involved in it, when the military is cut loose. And you do what you're doing, but every time the politicians get involved in Washington and the red tape and everything else, they screw it up.
And not to mention, it's not an efficient organization. I mean, like, the military is not an efficiently run organization. That's not what I require from them. Now, of course...
Oh, my gosh, listen to him. He's calling for nuclear weapons.
Wow.
He is calling for...
How the hell did you get there from what I'm talking about?
Efficiency on killing people?
No, efficiency on spending. We're talking about spending.
Yeah. On spending what? On a killing
money
machine,
on all sorts of different things.
Killing machine. What does the military do?
Warmonger.
Kill people.
It murders people.
Why are you mongering war?
Holy cow.
I mean, you guys are the ones that said it was a good organization like 30 seconds ago, and now you're completely flipped and you're calling them...
I wasn't even part of that discussion. All I'm seeing is that you're a warmonger.
Kumbaya.
A monger who mongers in war.
You're mongering. You are a mongrel.
Right?
Okay.
That's what
Thank
you are.
you for that.
That's what that is, isn't it, Pat?
Something like that.
Something like
Yes.
that. Okay. All right, mongrel.
May I get back to this
Go ahead.
budget stat? So the Medicaid thing, they're talking about this as a huge cut. As I'm saying, this is a huge increase in the budget of Medicaid.
It's just not as big an increase
it's not
as
as big
wanted.
as they wanted.
Sorry.
Yeah. However, it's still rising at a faster rate of the past 10 years. It's rising at a faster rate from 2008 to 2017. So how on earth can you propose that as a cut?
Well, they just did.
Yeah, they just say it. They just say it's a cut, and you're supposed to believe it. And,
No, because the media will all parrot
They'll
it.
go along.
They'll all go along.
they're saying it's horrific. You're trying to keep
This is
poor
why-
people
This is why
unhealthy.
This is why when they talk about talk radio, and we come straight at you and say we're not a news show. This is not a news show. You're not getting your news from here. Do you hear any? Shh, listen for the teletypes. No teletypes.
What
We're not pretending to be news here. We are commenting on the news. This is opinion on the news. So if you want to actually report the news, you report, here's what it was, here's what we're paying, here's the budget, here's the proposed budget. It's a cut in the proposed budget.
Increase. Which is
But it is an
increasing by a lot.
increase,
by less.
but a slower increase, but still the fastest increase since 2008.
I bet they don't get anywhere near that.
They don't get anywhere near that.
No.
Well, that's why no one trusts you.
Yeah.
Because, you know what, honestly, I didn't read the stories on the budget because I read all the headlines. I saw how it was all in lockstep, and I knew that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the three main causes here. You got Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security over the next 10 years. This is a draconian budget, remember. With no changes, they were supposed to spend $5.3 trillion on Medicaid. Trump wants to spend $4.7 trillion. Now we've only spent probably, maybe $3 trillion in the last 10 years. So he wants to go from $3 trillion to $4.7 trillion. They won in 5.3. They're saying, hey, that's a big cut of $600 billion. Okay, that's Medicaid part one.
AI is going to kill us all. It's going to kill us all because it really will. AI will see and diagnose all of us and go,
Too dumb to live.
The problem is people.
Yeah,
the problem is people. Delete.
Part two of the budget, Medicare, okay? Proposed spending, $8.7 trillion. The draconian Trump budget, $8.6 trillion.
Oh, my
By the way,
gosh.
way more than we spent over the past 10 years. And finally, Social Security, proposed budget, $13.4 trillion. Trump's draconian budget, $13.4 trillion.
Oh, my gosh.
By the way, way more than we spent in the last 10 years.
I saw a headline that said that he's cutting Social Security against all advisors.
And promises.
Which he's not even suggesting to do.
He's
They're
not
saying
suggesting it's the same. And
proposing it.
here's the thing. Did anybody else get out of this how many trillions are being spent, no matter whose budget it is?
Yeah.
And we can't afford any of that?
Yeah.
Anybody add those three numbers up?
John, they'll be
and
silly.
go, yeah, I'm sorry to be
9,
silly.
14,
I'm sorry.
27 trillion?
27 trillion. Don't worry about it. We got it. I just left it in my other suit. We have it. You know what we should do? Double taxes.
Well, if
we
you
could
don't have enough money, we'll make more.
Right. Exactly
you.
right.